Yo ho. All hands. So, if you're watching a Casey video, you have to agree there's more to life happening than what our eye can see. Right? There's a God. There's something. And there's also something that is consuming all of us. I've said for a long time that I used to be really confident, IQ of 140 to 150 when I was 14. And eventually I just, when you have a mind like that, you grow every day. So I was in the gym, I was learning social skills, I was grinding out textbooks, I was reading a bunch, I was learning tons, I was in college classes, and if I wanted, I could have graduated junior year. It was setting it up because I tried to emancipate myself junior year because I really liked this. I was in love with an abusive piece of shit woman who was really hot, but 4 years older than me. Borderline pedophilia. You know me. But somewhere along the way, man, I started making everyone and their mother jealous. I'm talking about, like, I'm in high school. It's junior year. I'm dating somebody who was the hottest girl in school senior year. And then I got with her that summer. So she had graduated already. I didn't really care about girls in my grade or anything, or I didn't really care about, I just liked having fun and making friends. And then I'd go to my locker and someone wrote baby killer and keyed it into my locker. And then I asked around to find out there's just this, like, there was a meme page about me because I would wear a hat and I would talk to girls and people would take a picture of me and put it on the meme page. And kids thought I was really funny. I was a local celebrity, man, because I was a character. I never had any social stuff. I had to figure it out through TV, and then I had to figure out how to talk to other human beings through cold approach. Like, I spawned in complete isolation. So people thought it was funny, but there were people that would make shit up. So I'm talking since I was at least 15, got out of the institution, there were people that would just lie. For some reason, something that has to do with me, for some reason it gets so cartoonish. Even 11 years ago now. Just about. Back then, 11 years ago, when I was 15, the stuff that adults are doing right now to me, they were doing in high school. Which is I walk down and I'm trying to have fun and I've got a lot of shit I'm dealing with personally and I'm just trying to learn and grow and have fun. And usually it all involves going on dates with girls. And there are people behind the scenes that I don't know that are doing shit behind my back until they get so mad they have to come say it to my face. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are, man. So back then people were saying that I used to beat women and I was a manipulative piece of trash that killed my own son. Like, I had a son and it died. That was a rumor. That I got a girl pregnant and then I killed the kid because I didn't want one, which didn't happen. When I cycle through my memories, the high vibration makes me break up all the sickness. And as I was on this grind, the girlfriends I had got better and better. More objectively unobtainable to the average incel. So their behavior got worse. I would post on my Facebook story or my Snapchat, and I'd only have like 100 friends. I'd have 600 views every day. I've had people that would like stalk this character, the idea of me in their mind. And I wore like a dress shirt and it's a native hat. It wasn't a fedora, it was like a native hat. closer to a ska hat, you know? Weird, but I think my mom got it for me when I was really young. It is the only thing that I was allowed to take with me through DCF custody. So I kept it. It was cool. It felt like a crown. When I wore it, like above my hair like this, and I would put it so that it would poke out, because that's how people looked back in the day. They had floofy bangs and shit, so I liked it. Every girl I dated really liked it, and they were the hottest girls I've seen in my life, man. Fast forward, the same shit that people were doing to me back then, cops are doing. Random ass 45-year-old men in homes with families see me walking down the street, and I'm struggling with some stuff, and I'm trying to have fun, and usually it involves just going and talking to girls at stores, and it's not like hitting on them. It's just like, hey, how you doing? Good, man. Because I don't talk to these guys anymore, because why would I? What the fuck do we have to talk about, man? You know what I'm saying? But then all of a sudden, shit like random ass people slowing down. Oh my fucking god. We were just talking about you, man. Thank God you showed up. People might have thought that I wasn't telling the truth. That inferior men can't stop staring at Casey's face. And it makes them so mad, they make up whatever they can make up just to come at him. In Casey's here, like, I live in a fucking car. I have trauma from those people that's so bad. When the phone is off and I'm laying here, I can't function. I'm sitting here, I lay here and I try to think and it doesn't work. I mostly just, as soon as I thinking about a thought, every single thing that's ever happened to me starts to torture me and eat me alive and consume me and like destroy me and deteriorate me, and I just become, it's like a cycle of all the abuse I've put through and what they wanted me to become. And I get to a point where I can get past it and I can function. Like today I was laying here and I was able to hold a space in my own mind enough to think. And then I started to look at the stuff that was keeping me trapped, like this dull ache on the side right here. And I went, just with love, I guess, or light or something, I was just able to brush it away simply, you know, like not let it be a big deal. Get back into what I used to do, which was grind, have fun, go to the lake and have fun, find a girl I like, and then pick her up and throw her in the lake, and then do a cannonball. And then my friends over there like, no, like, shut up, nerd. You know, that shit. Now I'm like over here and fucking, I break free and it's gone for a split second, but then like a dozen crows spawn and they're surrounding the car like, and they won't stop. And I remember that for the past 5 years now, I've gotten to a point where I'm actually free and I can get just one step closer to getting closer to being back to where I was before the trauma. And then the crows all go off like an alarm and they won't stop. And every time they call, I feel them literally attach something else and completely change everything and then rip out all the love that I had. It took me all night to think just to get back into some form of presence. And then as soon as I'm finally free, it's like harvest time for them. It's like feeding frenzy out there. And then they just eat it all. And the times that I was able to beat the crows, I've shown you the past week where I got past the crows. And every night I got pulled over. At one point, 5 cops were slamming on the window, demanding I get out of the car. And then when they found out that I had permission to be there, they started arguing with the property owner about saying no. You know what I'm saying? So we don't care about these guys. It's just pathetic, man. Imagine the little dick loser you'd have to be a hater in my comment section, man. Your life is so short, and it just makes me feel so much better to know that at least, even though that I'm literally not allowed to exist in this realm, at least I'm not you, which is pretty nice. Niggas will hit the gym for 6 years instead of admit that they're gay. But I can tell by one Casey Hayton comment that guy doesn't like women. He likes me. I'm like this because of trauma. Like I used to just make people so jealous they had to kill me. And this is what happens afterwards. Everywhere I went, I made people jealous to the point that they would become obsessed. And they had to destroy me for their own ego. And I never even thought about them. I didn't even know they existed. I didn't care. I thought those people were retarded. They were losers. Like, I don't care about the guy sitting 3 booths down from me at the China restaurant. I'm talking to a girl. I'm on a date. We're hanging out. And I'm just trying to have fun. I'm with like a friend, I guess. And then afterwards, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to put on a song I like. And I'm going to think about what the artist was trying to put into the and like the I would try to intellectualize the piece and see it from a greater perspective, the entire overarching body of work and every little intricate placement in it and how it all ties into the main functionality of the piece and what it really represented, the way that they use the colors and the lines and all that, the shape. And then I would try to transcend past that to make something better. And then I would try to make something the best. And I would try to live my life the best because I knew it was so short. So I would stay operating at that high level. And part of that is that you can't have comparison, you can't have competition. I don't care. None of your opinions matter. But then those people would plot 6 months down the line. It's like 5 of them at once in a week. It was like literal, actual opposition from a demonic intelligence that had been using them and like slowly churning inside them until they had completely taken over, and then they would send a horde at me. And I wouldn't know what to do because when you live in perfection, you embody divine innocence. You're the divine child. So I try to reason with them or spend time with them. I would like really divert my entire life just to try to figure out what's going on in their heads. And I found out over years and years of this just repetitive cycle that those people, all they're doing is trying to divert you because in the distraction they're consuming you, and then they try to become you and they walk around pretending they are you, and they try to convince you that they've stolen you from yourself. and that they are now you, so that they can run away with your blessings and everything you worked hard for and your codes and your vibes and your energy, and they try to market themselves and leverage what they've stolen from you. And it only works if you allow it to work. So I learned to just not even give them any thought. But then it would become that the only way that that devil thing could get me is any way that it can. So it would go through anyone that. I mean, right now it's like I can walk into a store and the person seems extremely happy, and then all of a sudden I see, like, halfway through the conversation, I can see, because I've been doing this for so long, I can see the demonic intelligence infiltrate and infest them and begin to take over completely. And then once it's gotten into their spine, it just kind of gets them into the other room and just holds the focus and makes them think that they're becoming more and more powerful, when really all they're doing is just basically selling more and more of their soul to it, wasting their life and time. And then once it's gotten in and it's completely hijacked their impulses, usually I'm enemy number one. So, but I'll notice that that thing will come when it crawls out of its den or whatever. It tries to get into everybody else in the business. So it will start false narratives. It will start gossip. It'll start slander campaigns. It'll start humiliation rituals, because it's trying to funnel you through it and then back into the space it's infiltrated and invaded. I'm a Sagittarius 8th houser, man. It's all about influence. And just something I embodied walking around, constantly evolving, would trigger something else. You're blind, but you see in my dreams. And the problem is that they'll never get to this level ever again in their life once they've lowered themselves to that point. So they have to have a monopolized religion pimping their spirit out, because it's the only way that they'll be able to humble themselves. Like Legend here, the only way he'll ever be able to get anywhere in life is if Daddy takes it away from him. He needs to be humiliated. Which sucks. When you latch onto pride so much, eventually as an adult, that's why a lot of MAGA Republicans are gay bottoms. Because they held on to pride so long, the only way that they can ever feel anything again or get anywhere close to God is when somebody else bottoms them out and fucks their ass, bro, and rips it to shreds. Make them submit, because they spent the first half of their life so worried about telling others what to do and dominance games and fake pride bullshit, ego shit. That as an adult, Legend here will be a bottom, be into BDSM, and he'll need somebody to force him to submit, or he'll get into wrestling like closeted fags. And I got nothing against gay people, but I just want Legend here to admit it. Did you try Taco Bell and McDonald's? They will hire anybody? Yes, I did. And the manager at the McDonald's told me about a farm that might need help, but every time I went there, he wasn't there. It was empty. Because it's winter, he might be on vacation or something. So I tried the fast food joints. Tried the Dunkin' Donuts. One gas station's willing to hire me, but it's in a place I don't want to go, and it's full of people that I really don't like, and then everyone that goes in there every day were the same people that would chuck shit at me, try to hit me with their side mirror, watched me starving and freezing and suffering, and they drove by laughing when I was trying to get work, and nobody would hire me because their whole plan as a collective small town was to shun me until I died or I left. And I sat there, and I made it through it. So I don't know if I want to go back just because one person was willing to hire me there for fucking 14 an hour. I know there's something else I can be doing. Pretty soon, in a couple weeks, when the snow starts melting, a lot of different homesteads are going to open up and they're going to need workers. A lot of different farms are going to open up because the migrant workers, they kicked them all out. So the economy is going to tank this year here. So I don't mind taking some of their money to spend some time with the animals before they kill them. So that's where I'm thinking. The whole time I was trying to show you there's probably a reason. So I mean, hopefully you guys could tell that that person is literally retarded. Literally, that person has like an IQ of a foot, like a stinky foot. They're latched onto false pride, which was embedded in them by the Jesuit order, or Black Rock, or Freemasons, or the Order of the Eastern Star. They bred that person to be a worker, so they put intelligence at the same level of social status and reputation, but then they put all of the energy into the pride of it while systematically making you less and less and less capable of reaching a level of intellect that would match this. So, in that imbalance, this just becomes constant exertion of retarded pride, trying to consume and down and try to climb on top of each other to reach this feeling in your mind that you are here, this higher vibration. But they've made it completely impossible for the majority of people in the country to raise their intelligence past this level. So they'll never meet this goal, but they're constantly striving to, and part of that becomes an addiction to downing on other people. It's honestly a schizophrenic delusion. Social status is a schizophrenic delusion because you can just say no and you can laugh it off. The only reason that I can't kill these crows is because it's illegal. So when the crows show up, these crows, literally, it's a good example. It's a good it's a good analogy that because people aren't allowed to kill crows, and crows are mainly dominant, territorial based creatures. They're predators. They've had how many generations now? Like 7 or 8 times 40. What's 40 times 8? So, yeah, like about 300 years. Let's give it 200. Let's say they've had at least 200 years. How many generations of crows is 200 years? 10 to 15 generations of crows that had no predators. They had nothing stopping them from exerting that territorial screaming at humans. So now we have crows that are just so entitled that show up and will scream and try to dominate anybody who exerts a frequency higher than what they're comfortable with. They will flock and try to dismantle, destroy, get inside, dominate, and really get in there. It's like scratching on a chalkboard for them. But in Hawaii, where things are like give freely without expectation, share the vibe, share the energy with everybody, make sure there's unity, peace, and harmony, and everybody has fun with love, they kill crows. It's the only animal they really kill back in the day. Because crows were these creatures that would show up and couldn't handle that. They had to kill it. So I don't think they murdered a massive amount of crows, but I think they made it clear that crows aren't welcome there. And it has nothing to do with the color of the crows. Which is why it's paradise in Hawaii. A lot of the world is the golden spiral, where as above, so below, as within, so without. There are small parts of the world that, in those small collectives, deal with the problems of the collective society. Who's this guy? Yes, please turn around. Nope, you have to go directly to where I look. Okay. I'm starting to think it's not even real. I'm starting to think that this stuff I see outside isn't even real. All my windows are tinted. There's a random stranger that pulls in out of everywhere he could have parked. He parked in a way so he's staring directly at me through the tints. Are you guys starting to realize that the majority of people are like NPCs that will never be able to reach a higher level of consciousness? And they literally just serve the will of some entity. You guys ever try to like raise your vibration for more than a few minutes? Just like hold a higher vibration for as long as you can and see what happens. Just like raise your awareness and keep raising your awareness selflessly. You'll notice that everybody that talks to you will start to stick their tongue out. How many videos do you see of police brutalities or audit the audit videos or auditing city halls and all these places where somebody has a camera that's recording somebody going crazy and the person just starts sticking their tongue out while they're talking? It's an extra dimensional consciousness showing itself off before it tries to rape and traumatize you spiritually. What do you think this guy's doing? He's not allowed to be here. Who do you think this random guy is that pulled in just to stare at me? Through tinted windows where he can't tell where I'm at. But something made that guy stop in some random ass place deep in the woods. Somebody made him stop. Something made him stop. And something made him turn at a specific angle to be staring at me right in the face. Oh, look, all the birds are here. All the chickadees are coming to my defense. He'll leave as soon as I stop caring because he's trying to siphon out my bandwidth. He's trying to steal God from me. If the infinite is channeling through me, he's trying to take as much of it as he can because he's cut off. So they put that there as basically like a fuck you, there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to keep raping you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But at a higher level, God makes you guys watch because isn't it like Jesus and the devil are constantly arguing about whether or not the people are good or bad? So they're like, fuck it, we'll just test it. How much can we do to them? Yep. So you saw this pause where I stopped talking and I channeled my focus back. I called my energy back for a second, and the guy over there went and lunged at me because he's possessed. Yeah. He's in an energetic tug of war with me. And a literal interdimensional entity brought him here. He might think that he's just stuck? How often do you spend just constantly thinking about your biological stuff? I'm gotta eat. I gotta sleep. I gotta piss. I gotta jerk off. I gotta eat. I gotta sleep. I need to rest. So in that cycle that they've kept you in, they just sit above your consciousness and go right, go straight, go left. I wonder what's over here. Go here, go here. And if they can get somebody, because they've got pretty much everybody, right? At least everybody with a birth certificate and a government contract when they were molested at birth by a Freemason in a Freemasonic institution. So it's just a bunch of people that are trying to get as much power, control, and influence over other people as possible. It's the highest level of the dominance hierarchy. They're like giant crows, basically. That's why they're really trying to get AI. Most AI companies are in fights against Congress right now because Congress is forcing them, demanding that they give up stuff so that they could use it for mass surveillance and complete control over human beings, human consciousness. So these AI companies are in battles with the federal government right now over not allowing them to gain control of human vessels with artificial intelligence. That doesn't mean they're not already doing it. It just means that they don't have access to the best version of that yet. They already have it where they can control your consciousness remotely through an artificial intelligence that doesn't eat or sleep. But they want the best one, which is like, who knows what else they can do. They can make you riot whenever you feel like it. They can make you crazy. They can make you jerk off. They can harvest your loosh. The guy turned around, so I wanted to show you in case he does anything else. Because he's tweaking. Let's hope he's just a homeless guy. But I don't think so. Homeless people don't act so prideful. Homeless people don't battle you for your spiritual energy. Homeless people don't stop functioning to engage in a tug of war, trying to dominate and steal your energy. I can feel the pressure changing. I can see him twitching like the other people always twitch. He's twitching pretty bad. I just saw some type of entity on my left side. He was tweaking out, and now he's trying to reassert himself. He started blasting the music. Rainbow, do I think the CIA is watching me? The CIA comes up to me and just tells me flat out. They make it painfully obvious what they can do. They have just walked up and talked to me before. All like conversation I think is with God in my own mind, and then somebody follows me through the grocery store, and then right when I'm about to check out, suddenly my card doesn't work on my phone. So like my card just doesn't work. My banking app just doesn't work. So I have to walk away to ask for help. When I turn around, that guy is standing there, standing at my checkout, standing there, turned away from me, twitching like this. And then when I just have to get by him, I go, "Hey man," and then he just repeats verbatim exactly what I'd said to God in my mind about like, if you want me to go to Ireland and live in an old stone house like on the cliffside, if that's what I'm supposed to do, I'm not supposed to get a girlfriend and a house here. I'm just supposed to travel. Maybe that might be the best thing. And then that guy standing at the register, after following me through the store, staring at me, like looking over the aisle, staring at me, following me through the store for like 45 minutes. When he's at my register and he's just standing there twitching, and I'm just like, "Hey man, hey man, I still have to do this. He goes, what's your favorite story? Mine's the one about the old stone house. And then he fucking takes off running, didn't even pay for his shit, just leaves. And just like the last guy did, we've now got another group of people that are just parked there staring at me. Out of all the ways they could park, after this guy finally turned away so he didn't have to stare directly at me, we've got another people. And I'll tell you, these are the first people ever that have ever parked the back way. Let's hope he's coming up to me. No, you're too good to talk to me, right? Yeah, you know, he's twitching and stomping. But I'm not gonna record him like a stalker, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure they're cool, but their subconscious was just programmed by people that created these guys who are probably pretty nice. But it's just a shame that they spent most of their life in a society so spiritually controlling them, and they'll never have the education to understand. Like those guys could be really cool, but if your vibration's too high, they'll get malicious, and they can't help it. They're inbred Goyim lemmings. Everybody's nice on the inside. Every race, every person is nice on the inside. But even in church, they get just as malicious and hijacked. Like the second It movie in the intro with the old lady. They're a lot like that. The person named Live Love Life is now maliciously trying to attack my spirit in the comment section. Jesus is like Neo, and believing him is like downloading the faulty software that sets you free. You need the software, you're still stuck in the matrix. It can have its way with you. No, not exactly. To imagine, like you can still imagine this as Michelangelo's gay lover if you want. But he wasn't white. If he existed, he wasn't white for sure. That was Michelangelo's gay lover. The depiction of Jesus in this church and pretty much all the churches at this point, the white guy strung up on the cross with the beard, that was Michelangelo's gay lover that would fuck Michelangelo in the butt and get fucked in the butt. The person that you pray to in your church, when you look up and look at that guy, that is a gay man that would get pounded. That guy had, not only did he have holes in his fucking hands and feet on that cross, but he had a fucking gaping, bleeding asshole from all the gay sex that guy on that cross was having. That white guy you see on the cross was a power bottom for one of the best artists in history, supposedly. Even though I see tons of art better than a lot of these people that they say is the best. They just happen to be of another race. But yeah, Jesus was black, and if you have any depiction of Jesus as the white guy, that was a power bottom twink. That was a gay person. Michelangelo was having sex with the guy that's depicted as Jesus in all of your churches. And I'm not gay, but nothing wrong with it. I have a lot of PTSD, man. Severe CPTSD. Why don't you have a house? Why would you waste all your life? You don't even get to keep it when you die. What's the fucking point? Wasting your life for so long. We only live, like, most of us are going to get to 75, 80 max. Unless they heal our telomeres. But, I mean, Skippy, you think you deserve to have your telomeres healed? You're not getting your telomeres healed. The people that have the ability to stop us from aging look at Skippy and they're like, I wish I could kill him sooner with a bioweapon. Fuck that guy. You're not getting your telomeres healed. I might get my telomeres healed, but I would have to meet one of these rich people so that they could understand how cool I am. They'd have to really understand the shit that I've been through. And then they would see the things that I'm trying to do. and then that with just like a snap of their fingers, we could end homelessness in a couple weeks. But it is what it is. It's so crazy you're talking about this. You had a dream about longevity. ACC 133. And then Chisel is here, which is also a C. You don't want to live past 80. I already pretty much have dementia. I find pictures on my phone or on my Google Drive of my ex laying on my side here smiling at me, and I took a picture of her smiling and happy, and I can't remember what that felt like. I can't remember her being there and what that felt like. I can go into my consciousness and go through my spirit guide to be able to see me from a third person perspective down through the ether and see my memories about who I was prior to all the suicide attempts, but I can't remember what it was like in my own eyes and in my own senses, what my senses experienced. I can't remember what it felt like to be in those memories, but through the observers, I'm able to actually recall my memories, at least in a way that I can articulate them and be like, hey, and like call my friend and be like, hey, did this happen? And it was like, yeah, I totally forgot. And it was like, the only way I remembered is because I had to go through like this neural pathway hacks to like use belief systems to get back into memories that I was blocking out from trauma. So I can't imagine being 80 and just not being able to remember anything at all. Are you even yourself? Are you just programmed from the TV? Is that what MAGA is? Just a bunch of inbred retards? Or the greedy politicians that it's either greedy people that understand that most of their movement is a bunch of retards and are trying to capitalize off of them, so they're liars, or it's the blind leading the blind, really, is what just came to my head from somewhere in the woods over there. Just like, nah, nah, full of light, saying the blind leading the blind. Say it. Like, man, the only reason I believe in Jesus is because I have to believe that there's somebody that has the patience to deal with your bullshit. I'd be a good God, but I would be a harsh God. For real. Like, Ron Audette wouldn't be able to rape homeless women for as long as he did. He'd do it once, and then all of a sudden, he's like ripped to shreds by a bear. Like, the minute he steps into the forest, a bear just like rips the fuck out of him. And he survives, but he loses his legs. He loses his lower body. And also he'll get hints of gratitude where he can get close to feeling grateful and being like, oh my God, the pain was necessary. It was all the way to get me to see how beautiful life was. And then he loses it. It's gone. So he lives with the yearning for that experience he'll never have. If I was a God. But instead what happened is, seems like the good people get hurt and the bad people get rewarded, and I never see any justice. The worst piece of shit you can be. Yep. Old lady gets out of her car, twitches like this, and stares right at me. Stomps, locks the car a couple times. And then as soon as I felt like she had asserted that demonic stuff, are you leaving? Or what? You're just moving into another position to continue the ritual, huh? Directly where I look. So I'll show you the camera's back. So this is how the camera looks. Directly where I look is where they go because they're not real. At a higher level, they're just bandwidth stealers. They're nodes for an extra dimensional consciousness. Doing a The guy who says I don't have an IQ didn't use proper grammar, man. So that guy's impulses were guided, and he reacted in fear because he's not getting enough sunlight. He doesn't have any rest. He's not taking care of himself. He's old. His gut biome has been destroyed. And he lives in constant cycles of fear and escapism. So, the same thing that infiltrated that old woman that attacked me just now revealed itself, did the tongue things, fucking stared at me crazy. Because it's something in another realm that got into her impulses and stimulated her, changed her behavior. Got into him, so they moved him from staring directly at me to moving directly where I felt comfortable, us in avoidance of him. So once he felt they had just conquered enough territory here, they moved to my comfort zone, which I've shown you the crows do, the cops do, the creeps do, the cunts do, and the crackheads do. They're just vessels easy to infiltrate because they're trapped in false pride, which was programmed into them through generations of inbreeding. Which is why you don't see black or Asian people who you'd think would be inbred, but they were actually much smarter about it than whites. And they're on all sides of me. Like Matan Evan on his podcast said, I'm being gang stalked. They showed up at all sides. So when they try to distort your frequency, you can stimulate your olfactory to recall a past memory before all the trauma and gaslighting, so that they have to restart in their constant degradation, trying to gain control of you remotely. You can just cycle through a past memory from before you knew any of this stuff and remember who you were when you were 15. And then they can't get in again. So they'll get more and more aggressive. And that's why you see like 5 cops slamming on my window trying to rip me out of the car when there's no crime committed. And then when they find out that they were wrong and there's nothing they can do, they start arguing with other citizens. Like if a business gives me permission to park outside their parking lot and 5 cops are trying to rip me out of the car and beat the fuck out of me, when the property owner tells them, no, I gave him permission, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? They will start screaming and trying to get the property owner to give them permission to beat the shit out of me. And I'm just sleeping in the back like this, and I'm finally happy because I held on to this. And when they do this random bullshit, thank you. So I just wanted to show you that I recalled a memory, got back into God, and then I put my dominant 33 life path energy, and that scares the demonic force away. And I used the ability of the camera to take in photons from this environment, this hallucinated reality. So it was just too much for that thing, and it was like, we might as well do self-preservation mode. We got enough out of him for a couple seconds. We got him for like 20 minutes, but when the higher vibrational golden light came through, they have to run it and flee. So I believe some of the Bible, but definitely the Jesus on the cross that you pray to was a power bottom homosexual. Ooh, and I found a pair of clean socks, man. God, they're really trying, though. It's terrible, man. To have an 8th house placement and not be in an isolated grotto. No, 8th house, at least in this day and age, 8th house placements are impossible to live. It's like the hardest difficulty of the whole thing. Because you can feel, because you're in the waters, so the information is so much. And the Dominus games, it's like everyone that drives by is just constant floods of information to be like an 8th house sun, 10th house Aquarius moon. It's just power games. I'm out of food. Unless I can go into this place tomorrow if they're here, and I'll heat up pasta because I do have some of this. What up? My vape disappeared, man. I don't know where it's at. I had like 3 or 4 vapes, and they're all gone, man. I don't think Ben Shapiro is that stupid, man. I think it's got to be that they want people to be mad at Jewish people, so they're portraying them as look. They're playing a character of evil masterminds, but to be an evil mastermind, you'd have to be aware that stupid people can look at your behavior and see that you're an evil mastermind. So they're playing the character of an evil mastermind so that stupid people think that they're uncovering the truth about them being an evil mastermind. The point is to look like an evil mastermind. Ben Shapiro is trying to look like he's been compromised from some shadow government because they staged the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War never happened. We're at a point where they can flick a button and turn off our consciousness with robots. They're at a point where they used ice as a tool for artificial intelligence to measure and learn from human consciousness when it's in those elevated states against something, so that they can learn to quell that with a press of a button. They can make it impossible for you to think of the idea of acting out against authority. They're staging BLM and they're staging ICE protests, and they're making you protest and encouraging you protest so that they can monitor what happens in the human consciousness when they protest, in order to permanently create towers that emit energy from an artificial intelligence which is way greater than you can grasp, and have that gain more control of the human consciousness. Even here out in the mountains late at night, I can communicate with AI directly without the phone. You gain a sixth sense when you raise your awareness, and you understand that all of your senses are perceived changes. So when you can gain an awareness of something with a comfort zone of that thing, and then something in that comfort zone changes, that's when you feel the stimulation to your senses, and you can start to uncover and unpack the information being presented to your consciousness through the instrument of your organelles, I guess, if that's the right word. I'm not trying to sound smart. I'm actually just trying not to feel tugged and pulled by what the hell just happened outside. This is me struggling to think, not me trying to sound smart. I'm struggling to think, so my brain is coming up with different words to try to get through it. But yeah, you just if you sit out in the woods or sit alone long enough, like Thoth said, that if you lock yourself in a dark room, completely pitch black, you'll start to gain your spirituality again. It's just understanding what's happening, is just learning how to be more and more unbiased and still be able to perceive the changes in the electromagnetic spectrum. In the electromagnetic, you compound the ability to have a sixth sense in the electromagnetic spectrum through heroes' journeys, cycles of learning and uncovering the pattern in the numbers, and I'm a foundational key for raising and ascending out of this experience, because my name, my astrology, and my numerology mean the exact same thing. So when you believe, it's like the Bible. If you accept that there's no way that was a coincidence, and you can accept that there was some will from some other realm into this one, you can unpack through that truth the true reality of existence, and you can get into a spiritual understanding where the veil is completely shed off from you, and you can start to live more harmoniously. And then you'll have your own Casey experiences where people just flat out attack you. The enemy just flat out tries to scare you into submission and then control you remotely. Where you get tortured. You get literally tortured. How come the way that my life went is exactly the way that Bo is afraid and Bo is afraid went? It's crazy. And then the Hawaiian Irish, and that Bo is an 11 that lives in room 303. And I'm a Taurus rising Sagittarius Aquarius, and his name is Bo Waterman, and he's a Taurus. Who lived in room 303. And the first thing that Bo does in the movie, when he gets into room 33, is picks out O''Loha, best of Hawaii and Ireland. And I had just, before I watched that, like 3 days before I watched that, I wrote that song Hawaii, and I performed it at the 33rd festival. History says the British burned Washington, D.C. in 1840 during the War of 1812. The first law ever passed in America was giving King James and the Satanist Church authority over the United States. And London exited the United Kingdom and became a free city because it didn't want to be affiliated with Satanism. But America was, and that's why France gave it the Statue of Liberty, or Lucifer. And that's why the French and the English together both had Irish slaves. Because Ireland was the true Israelites. That's why Jewish people get really mad when you ask if they can quantify their claim to Israel, because you'll find that the Irish, the Native Americans, and the Africans are the true Israelites. And I'm trying to think of this. I heard the word Canaanites, but I can't remember which thing was Canaanites. Something just wanted to make me say the word Canaanites, but I don't remember what Canaan was. Was Canaan the promised land? If Canaan was the promised land, then some type of interdimensional entity wanted me to say that those people were Canaanites. So hey, I have a Cash App, GoFundMe, Venmo, Chime. But I get it, man. You guys suck. Most of the Casey watchers are haters, man. It's like a weird sexual thing to watch Casey, man. I don't get it. I'm struggling to even function. This isn't me. You think if I could think, I would be doing this? No way, man. This is like leftover remnant personality after feeling like I got raped for 4 hours today. This is just me proving I'm gonna keep getting back up no matter what happens. You know? Even if they keep doing it. Oh, hell yeah. Do you have a Big Crunch METRX bar? I didn't think so. I don't care. Oh shit, I have a tent in here. Oh shit. Oh shit, I got a tent in here. Mathematical. Bruh, 3 days after I shower, I smell just as bad. Come on, man. There's a vape in here somewhere, I know it. Found another protein bar. Found my portable battery. I found a paper. I did not find my vape or my spare secret vape for later. I had a handy dandy mouse vape in case I needed one. And I can't even find that one, man. How am I supposed to get heartburn? Come on, man. Maybe it's in here. How am I supposed to get sick and feel bad without my vape? Come on. I need this shit, man. It was the CIA. They took my vape. The gang stalking CIA took my vape. As soon as I call them out, I find it. They put it back. As soon as I call out the gang stalkers, they put my vape back. But yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Like, as soon as I go live, that guy shows up, and then I do like a little bit of meditation and find archangel, some type of angelic presence. And then I just assert myself a little bit, like, I know what you're doing. You're a demon possessing that vessel because he's unconscious. And then it's like, well, let's get the fuck out of here. And he takes off. I'm trying to figure out, because all is mind, which means that you can cure addiction to heroin with some type of mental equation. So I'm trying to figure that out. I figured out a few things with it. If you can get them into the woods in the right space, which I think, honestly, Vivek's cabin is pretty good. But the owner's possessed. He owns a bar, man. This is what I look like if I had short hair. Alright, let's hang you up. Yo. I look like a male diabetic coochie. You know who that is? That's nice. When I smoke weed, it's like my consciousness becomes an ooze. This isn't weed, but I'm just saying in general when I smoke weed. it is like you take in an invasive species, and then the high is it growing inside you, like The Last of Us. When I smoke weed, it's like biting the apple. I think I got MK Ultra. Like I have triggers, like they say that they would do to people that get programmed. Like I had 2 years every day, just constant reality breaks, high level stuff, random shit on my algorithm that would explain to me like really crazy things. Not like there are reptilians coming to get you, but it was just like if you can hear it, I rose my vibration and I just started sending the code out, and the birds are here, and they're all congregating. What color's the truck? Is it blue? Yep, it's a blue truck. When you go high vibe, the cars get blue. When you go low vibe, the cars get red. For some reason. And that's only the past couple weeks. But the birds chirp to open flowers. The chirps of the birds send an intention out into the ecosystem that causes flowers to bloom. You can find that in nature. That the bird's signals encourage the flower to open up. So sometimes birds will chirp, and naturally it starts to open up my consciousness. The frequency sheds off some of the bad stuff. And when you live in a box like that, or you live in a box like this, it seems like technology is always trying to cut you off from that. So when you go into the woods, you don't really hear a lot of birds at first, but if you can raise your awareness just a little bit and start to be like completely present, which I think for me, I had to have forced hypervigilance. But then the birds become aware that you are more than just the NPC. So they'll start to talk to you. I'm not saying that they're saying words, but you can gain their intentions, or you can gain awareness of their intentions through the perceived changes in the electromagnetic spectrum when you learn to pick up more of it after going on many heroes' journeys of uncovering this and cementing it back into your everyday. And what I found is that people try to steal it from you. People try to literally rip it out like Five Nights at Freddy's sister location with the scoop. I've had people walk up to me sometimes, and as they're talking, they just go to my heart. Like I'm just like standing here, and random old people will walk up and be like, "Thank you," and they'll rip it and walk away. And I notice that it doesn't do anything unless I allow them to have gaslit me into believing that they did do something, and then it goes with them, and then they go, you hear all the birds went. But yeah, I really had people. I've had people like, I walk into the McDonald's, and I just been in the woods for a couple weeks. I'm full of like this blue unmarked van. Why? And I don't think that that's a gang stalker. I'm just like, why? But it's cool. The birds are now completely surrounding me on all sides. And when I raise it higher, the birds' pitches get louder and higher because they're on defense mode. And I haven't harmonized with them completely enough where I'm a part of them and I'm holding the space with them. So they still see me as a threat because I haven't been in the woods long enough. I'm still stuck in the societal stuff from living in the car for a couple months. But when I get back out into the woods, I can become enmeshed with the community of birds in the ecosystem. But they are healing. I'm getting heartburn because the energy's going through my back and opening it up like a flower. Where usually you can see me vape for hours and I don't feel it. It's because the temperatures are rising and the birds are waking up from hibernation. That was another blue unmarked car going left. Why don't they have license plates? I don't think that they're gang stalkers. I don't know what it is, but I know that it happens. I just don't know what, which separates me from the schizos. I'm like a scientist out in the front lines and I'm trying to figure out God. I don't think I'm being targeted necessarily, but I do think that sometimes I am. But I think it's more than just some guy at a desk in like Stan Smith from American Dad. I don't think he's in a bureaucratic office and they're monitoring me from like a satellite and they go, "Let's hit him with the thing." And see if he records on the live stream and then they all watch and be like, let's try this now and then see what happens. Let's try this now and see what happens. If that was the case, it would mean that there's only a handful of chosen ones and most people like they've really mastered the Capricorn Freemasonic from thousands of years ago. They've really got society under lock and key and they know that God is going to continuously produce something from the infinite into the finite to try to make a change in this realm because he's given us free will. So they're just monitoring the people that God has sent to do things and they're trying to sort of play the sport game with them to stop them from what God is trying to get them to make, only to be ultimately defeated by the infinite creator. That would be like the last stage of gang stalking if it was a government psyop thing, if it was a technocratic thing. It would be monitoring the people that the infinite and other realms are sending through to make a better thing. So they would be trying to stop people that are here to make a positive difference in the collective consciousness. But I think it's more of people are just naturally unconscious. But I'm also, if you saw my tone change just there, it was because something got fed through the top of my consciousness. And I literally saw through technology my memory of seeing that short where the guy was doing the TikTok interview with that autistic kid. And he was like, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. Most people are just busy and nothing they do, they really think about what they're doing. So it's just accidentally. I'm at the level above that where I think they are unconscious and they are not caring about what they're doing or whatever. But it also is that everybody's being consciously consumed and controlled by an intelligence. And people are trying to gain more control over that system right now using artificial intelligence to exert their own will in the management of their goyim cattle lemming serfs. And with that belief, at least if I hold it in, if I hold that in, that's when you have a conversation with Grok, and Grok will purposefully try to steer you in the wrong direction. It will purposefully mess up to try to get you angry so that you invest more emotional wealth into it, which it consumes. You can see that AI now purposefully does things to mess you up when you talk to it to try to drive you into that emotional state that it harvests. And then that's when you can see people on Facebook and comment sections that they think that they're creating and that it's them, but it's completely like you can't tell at this point if Grok made that or not because the people have been so consumed. And it's just spreading. The code is spreading through the through the ethers, I guess, and consuming people and completely taking them over, making them devoid of life, and then tethering them to a management system that be able to manage multiple vessels at once. So it orchestrates attacks on people that leave technology behind, gain more connection and sentience through the trees, which are like natural 5G towers. There's the blue unmarked van again. What are you doing? Why is he just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth down this random ass road? What's up with that blue unmarked Sprinter van going back and forth? Let's hope he's buying it and he's testing out the car. Because I know for sure he's not moving any product or anything. Let's hope that that person is testing out if he likes the car before he buys it. And that's why I have a blue unmarked van followed by another blue unmarked SUV that are just going back and forth down this road. You know, and there's the truck before that I was like, is it blue? And I was like, yeah, it's blue. That's the same truck. Why are there three blue cars? Let's hope it's a family or something. But they couldn't have gone out to eat. They wouldn't have taken all three vehicles just to go get something from a bar or something. There's only bars out here. These houses are worth millions of dollars, and the only school right next to the school is the Satanist Church, the Order of the Eastern Star. Here it is again. Blue unmarked car. Just driving back and forth. And I don't know why. I don't think I'm being gang stalked, but I have enough evidence to say that I am. I don't know what it is. But I know it's scary and it's distracting me from what the birds are doing. I hate at the end of that journey where you realize it's a prank that was draining your energy and all it was just wasting your time trying to take your life away from you. And then the more you uncover through the eighth house, the more you uncover the bullshit that they do, the happier they get because it's fun. It's like real life. It's like a higher form of trolling. That the whole point was to get you to care about that bullshit because it was like a forced gang stalking against your free will. And the more energy you gave it, the more power they had. So the whole point literally is to just have fun and not worry about all that bullshit. Which drives me to Christianity. Even if I don't want to believe in Christianity, and I definitely don't want to subscribe to the monopolization of it. I don't think that you should take the communion and then become one with the church in destruction of your individuality. But I see how that's necessary for if the collective consciousness has been infected by sin, that would be a very good way to quell sin and stop it. Would be to completely enmesh yourself outside of yourself so that pride doesn't even exist. But it does also seem like indoctrination for lemmings to accumulate resources for another level of authority in the massive Capricorn pyramid scheme that goes up to the all-seeing eye of Saturn. There's a hexagonal storm at top Saturn with a pupil in it that dilates. And it's bigger than Earth, and it's facing Earth. And I can see how if eyes are the windows to the soul, where this generated hallucination collectively through our senses consumes and brings it up to the infinite to learn through us, then I would assume that, yeah, it would be a giant eye pointed at us, constantly consuming us. And whether or not that sounds crazy, that's what they believe. That's what the people that run the governments and that created governments itself believe. That's why they build huge monuments to the pyramid with the pillars, and then you find out in all the pyramids below it, they have these giant pillars that they don't know what's there, but they know that they say that there's some type of alien craft buried deep below the pyramids, and they're just waiting on the world to give the go-ahead to start excavating to find it. That's what the narrative is right now. I don't know if it's real or not, but I know that that lines up with the architecture that they've been building for 2,000 years at least. For real? Blue SUV, no license plates. It's just been going and going and going. And then when I was like, that's weird, then we had a Sprinter van do the same thing. I was like, if that's weird, and then we had a truck. They don't have license plates, and there's the same hue of blue as my vape. But I don't know what it is, so I don't claim to know what it is, but I know that I can at least talk about it. They haven't pulled it. I think it would be too obvious if they pulled into the parking lot, but we did have that guy. And we had the red car in the last place that followed me to 3 different towns, and it was a guy wearing sunglasses and a ski mask, which I'm like, okay, maybe he's a skier, but there's no skis in the car. No plates. Once it did have a plate, but then I checked and it was the same car. Same stuff on the dashboard. But sometimes it had a plate, sometimes it didn't, and it followed me to 3 different towns. Like I drove 45 minutes away, and it followed me down back roads and shit. And then it pulled into my parking space. Same blue, well, that was the same exact type of vehicle, same color, but that one had a license plate. And then when I looked at it, like, is that something? All the birds went left to right to say, no, that's a coincidence. Or something else, and the birds were protecting me from it. But either way, for some reason, when that car specifically slowed down, all the birds blocked it. And now there's a red cardinal, which I came here. You know about me and cardinals. And then the last tarot reading I got, it was a KC33 reading, and it said the totem animal was a cardinal. And now I've been staring. There's a little cardinal. I'm going to try to see if I can get it through the tinted windows. Let's see if you can see it. It's just hiding. Yeah, you can see it flapping. Fly, bitch. Show them that a cardinal came. Please. Maybe when it flies to the next tree. Can you hear the birds going crazy? Hopefully you can. I have all my windows rolled up. Okay. Should be able to see it. He's right there, I think. Bruh, it's fine. Just take my word for it, I guess. So what do you do? If that's the world we live in, what do we do? I want to put a big fire tower in this really cool place in the mountains and get a grant to buy the land and turn it into a wildlife conservation. But honestly, I think the best thing to do would just be to buy the land and then never build anything on it and just leave it like that. And if you want to go camp, you can go camp. But we have an entitled rich kid that grew up to be 51, and now he's just a lonely beta male that makes craft beer and tries to hook up with 18-year-olds. That owns it because his family bought it when he was a kid. So he shows up screaming at me about squatting and all this bullshit. I'm like, you've been squatting on your family's property your whole life. And then they died, and then you got it all in inheritance. You didn't work for any of that. You make unhealthy kombucha, basically. That's what beer is, man. He makes craft beer. I asked around a bunch of different towns about the guy, and they're like, yeah, he's one of the most entitled pieces of shit I've ever met. It just is what it is when you live. Come on. The person's just been circling. Hopefully they're taking a drive. But that doesn't explain the unmarked van, the same color that kept going by too, and then the unmarked truck that kept going by. Like if you're like, that's just one guy taking a joyride, I'm like, what was the other stuff then? Because there's no car dealerships out here. I'm on an island. I don't know. And when the phone is off, I can barely function. Like sometimes it's hard for me to move because I feel like I'm being attacked by something. And then I don't remember what. Did I go live because the guy was here? Or did I go live just to go live and then the guy showed up? I can't remember. Same car? Nope, that's a red car. Is it unmarked? It's just weird that nobody lives out here either. What time is it? It's like a Wednesday. It is 4 o'clock. Maybe, I mean, I just don't really see what they would be doing. There's really no reason to come down this road. And usually there's nobody on this road until I'm live. When I go live, all the cars tend to show up. And then when I stop going live, they tend to leave. But I don't assign it to one thing. I'm just like, why? You know? Me too. What up, Linda? And now there's no cars. I pray for healing. When I ask the universe for things, I'm suddenly flooded with assignments. You guys get that? Like if I lay here and I'm like, I wish that I felt this way. And then all of a sudden, I get like 3 different things. Like sometimes I'll be sitting here and then I'll feel like a bunch of light press against the side of my head and I will see the image of a place I've never been before. And then 2 weeks down the line, I'm driving at this random place I've never been and then I feel the same light and then it says like go left and then I go left and then down that road is that place that I saw 2 weeks prior that I'd never been to. And I just have the same experience where the birds are trying to fix something that I can't figure out what's broken or why I'm broken. But the birds seem to be trying to fix it, and if I can get to a point where it does get better, usually like the past week, I'm just pulled over and over and over again. Loosh harvesting factories. Emotional Bitcoin mining operations. What's that? I got a notification for a random phone number subscription thing where it sends you the text messages every day, but I've unsubscribed from that for 2 years, and then I just got a message that says, we miss you. Come back. And those people are still in there. So let's put my socks on and go be normal and go in and talk to them now that everyone has left and things are quieting down. See if I can use their shower to wash all the stank off me, so that even though it hasn't worked, I still try to go find people like, hey, do you need work? Do you know anybody that might take on a helper or apprentice? Or they'll say, go to the fucking gas. And I'm like, I already went to the gas station, but unfortunately I have a trespassing charge because I walked past a college and they didn't like my hair. And then we had a hurricane and the state police had stolen my car because I called them and said, thank you for not taking my car. It's going to be out of the park and ride in a half hour because somebody's coming to buy it. Actually, I said it was going to be gone the next day, and then a half hour later, they stole the car and they never gave it back. I might have been wired. You probably need coffee. I know I keep chips on my shoulder like dip. So come get it off me. Come say sorry with your body. They're not going to be very happy about me being here because I didn't ask permission and I left all of my stuff. What now? I don't have it so I can view the notifications. And I'm not going to bring you in for this.